Welcome to another presidential election themed Channel Point 5 News Point. I'm Jake Moore. Donald Trump has been tweeting recently about how President Obama's healthcare initiative, the Affordable Care Act, commonly referred to as ObamaCare, is a failing system.
This election is going to be about Obamacare. It's going to be about jobs. It's going to be about a lot of things, but Obamacare is just blowing up, and even the White House, our president, announced 25 or 26%. That number is so wrong. That is such a phony number. You're talking about 60, 70, 80% in increases, not 25%. Obamacare has to be repealed and replaced, and it has to be replaced with something much less expensive.
Seth Meyers took a closer look into Trump's statements on Obamacare last night.
The Obama administration announced that health insurance premiums would rise next year by an average of more than 20%. Now, that's bad news on the surface, but it's still in line with the projections made by the Congressional Budget Office. Trump always frames things in the most hysterical way possible. God forbid President Trump ever has to deal with a slight dip in GDP. He'd probably tweet, "It's a depression, every man for himself, eat your neighbors." The context is important here. Those increases will only affect the small percentage of consumers who get insurance on the individual market. Most people get it from their jobs or government programs like Medicare. And on top of that, the vast majority of people who do get insurance through Obamacare will get increased subsidies to offset those costs. In fact, most people using Obamacare will be able to find plans for less than $75 a month.
Trump's Twitter has historically been seen as a place of Trump's opinionated information for people to take with a grain of salt, Trump being a businessman/entertainer before his presidential run. Even now, with his follower count eclipsing 12.5 million followers, growing by roughly 4 million followers in the last 6 months alone, in his run towards presidency, there are those who don't take his tweeting seriously. This could be seen as a real problem for someone who could potentially hold presidential office, though it's not really different from any other election where one side disagrees with the opponent and doesn't necessarily take the candidate seriously, especially on the topics in which they disagree. As far as Obamacare is concerned, Trump wants to repeal it and Hillary wants to amend it. It's up to the voters to decide what is the best move. That's all for this Channel Point 5 News Point. I'm Jake Moore.